Welcome back to part 3 of my master grade Wing Gundam Proto Zero review. In part 2 I looked at the aesthetics, the quality and the gimmicks of this kit, so make sure to check that one out if you haven't already. So far so good, the Proto Zero is what I would consider a standard 2.0 master grade. It's a solid, great looking kit but doesn't break the mold or bring anything new to the table. So in this part I will be moving on to the included accessories, the posability and articulation of the kit, and finally onto the transformation. Now onto the accessories. The shield, the buster rifle, the beam sabers, 2 base adapters, 4 sets of interchangeable fingers, and the scale figure of Hero Yui. Also not pictured here is the included base. Now onto a closer look at each of the accessories one by one. First we have the shield, which looks great. Quite a change from the original design. It's quite longer and narrower. It's made up of 4 different colors of plastic: yellow, white, clear green, grey on the guns and underside, and red. So there's quite a lot going on here. Flipping it around to the other side, you can see this grey piece which can be pulled up and out, which covers the Gundam's head when in bird mode. These yellow parts here can fold out, and there's a bit of a mechanism here that pulling one causes the other to fold out too. The shield can also be extended slightly just by pulling it out like this. Just a quick comparison to the Wing Gundam Verka again, like before. A pretty similar design. But flipping them over, you can see that the Proto Shield has a lot more going on around here, and just looks a lot cooler in general. Next on the list is the Twin Buster Rifle. There's 3 different plastics used here: yellow, purplish grey, and grey. The handles can be pushed up like this for using the rifles in bird mode. The 2 rifles that make up the Twin Buster can be split apart like this. We have a few moving parts here. This part in the center here can be folded away, the handles move in and out, and this part of the back here also flips out. Onto the beam sabers, and nothing new to see here really. Standard handle sections consisting of only 1 piece of white plastic, and the green beam just slots in. You have 2 of those. A base adapter for using with an action base, and a base adapter for using with the included base for using in bird mode. We have fists, hands with an extended finger for holding the rifles, hands for holding the beam sabers, and hands with extended fingers. And lastly we have the 100 scale pilot figure of Hero Yui. The beam sabers when not in use can be stored in a hatch in the top section of the shoulder armor, as you can see here. And this can close down. The shield is attached into this slot in the side of the forearm with this little attachment point here. The buster rifle is attached using the hand section with the extended finger like so, then slotted into the rest of the hand like this. The Wing Gundam Proto Zero comes with a standard set of accessories, but with the added bonus of an included base. The swappable finger style hands might not appeal to everyone, as it can get old really fast having to search for fingers every time you want to change weapons or poses. So first at the neck, the head can be rotated all the way around. There's a nice range of movement up and down, so you'll get some good poses there, but not so much in a side to side tilt. Next onto the waist, which I did mention is a bit loose earlier on, but there is quite a bit of movement here. But this movement is mainly restricted towards the front. The arms can rotate a full 360 degrees at the shoulder, and can move out to about 90 degrees laterally. Onto the less than impressive looking arms, and we get quite a decent bend there at the elbow. At the wrist, the manipulator can spin a full 360. And there's an okay range of motion here at the wrist as well, but it's one of those simple ball and socket joints where the hand holds on this grey panel bit here, which I'm not a big fan of. And yes, I do notice that the wrong fingers are attached here, so my bad. Onto the waist unit now, and it doesn't have a lot of up and down movement, and it doesn't take too much to pull it up and off completely. The side skirting armor can move up and down quite a bit, and has this cool little part here that can pull out. Again, around the back here, not a whole lot of up and down movement on the back skirting armor either. At the waist, the leg can kick up quite a bit without the skirting armor, but when it's attached, it does get in the way of the upward movement quite a bit. However, some great outward movement at the waist joint. It can move up all the way until it's perpendicular with the waist unit, so yes, the Proto Zero can do the splits. And to the back, as you would expect, that skirting armor does get in the way quite a bit. Moving along now to the leg unit, we have this joint up here which allows the leg to rotate at the waist. A really nice range of movement here at the knee. But at the ankle here, a lot of this armor paneling really restricts the range of motion. And the foot cannot really bend up to the front or back very much at all. And side to side's not great either. At the toe section, the foot cannot bend up, it can only bend down, as that's part of the transformation. And lastly onto the awesome binders, which is probably the section of this kit that has been redesigned the most. There are a lot of joints and moving parts in this section here. They can bend in and out here, as well as up and down at this joint as well. The thrusters have a little bit of wiggle. And to open up the binders, you just have to pull open one section to open both. When open, they can flip to the front and back like this. And inside the binders, we also have this moving section here, which can move out and up and down. So that's it for the articulation. Now onto some test poses to see the overall posability of the Proto Zero. First, the squat. Movement is mainly limited here at the ankle by this large panel cropping out from the lower leg, as well as up here at the waist due to the skirting armor. So the Proto can't really get down that low in a squat position. Another pose to test the leg posability, and that's the lunge. The first thing you'll notice here is that there's not enough side-to-side movement at the angle to allow the foot to lay flat on the ground in this pose. And on the other side, just like the squat, armor panels are restricting the range of movement at the ankle and the waist. One last one for the legs, and the foot can't manage to rest on the ground as the toe section of the foot can't bend upwards like some other mobile suits, so this will restrict a lot of ground poses such as dynamic crouching. This is as high as the Proto Zero's arm can raise, and it just can't crunch sideways at the waist well enough to pull off this pose. And it also refuses to stay in this pose due to its loose waist joint. On to some aerial poses, and first up is the Rosen Zulu. Not the most demanding pose to pull off, but the Proto Zero with its open binders looks awesome in this pose. So I had to throw this one in as well. And last is the Isle Strike. No problems with this one, and again looking awesome in this pose. The Proto Zero is definitely in its element when it comes to aerial poses. And finally, onto the transformation to Neo Bird mode. And there we have it, Neo Bird mode. Wing Zero's Bird mode is arguably the best looking of all the Wing Gundam versions, and the Proto Wings Bird mode looks astounding. The binders look phenomenal when fully spread out like this, and the sharp streamlined shield at the front looks savage, and is just made even more threatening framed by those twin buster cannons. The way the lower legs split open is awesome looking and disguises the fact that they are legs quite well. Out of all the Wing Gundam's transformations, to me it's not as apparent like the others that this is just Twisted Gundam with its shield on its face. But like I've mentioned before, I wish the shoulder armor was that little bit longer. It would cover those arms a little bit more in bird mode. And it would also look awesome in mobile suit mode, as the bigger shoulders is an aspect of the original design which I prefer. So that's the Master Grade Wing Gundam Proto Zero. It looks awesome, great colors, the clear parts look amazing in green, especially the search eye, but that is bad news if you want to custom paint it. It does however lag behind some recent Master Grades and Real Grades in terms of outer aesthetic features and details. You could argue that that's to keep it more anime accurate, but if that was the case, why would Bandai redesign it and not just release a TV version? The waist joint is a bit loose, but hey, that's a simple fix, and besides that the kit is solid as a rock. A nice set of accessories is complemented by the inclusion of a base. The articulation and posability is great, but some of the armor hinders some ground poses. But then again, who wants to see Wing on the ground? And the bird mode looks absolutely fantastic with those awesome looking wings. The Wing Gundam Proto Zero is a great addition to the Endless Waltz line of Master Grade kits, and in my opinion I would go as far as to say the best addition to the Endless Waltz line, and has deployed its way to my #1 Gundam Wing Master Grade. A definite recommendation, and if you're a Gundam Wing fan or just love Gunpla, I'd say pick it up. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.